ज्योतिष का ज्ञान यह रे रहस्य Astrology's knowledge deep as sea नक्षत्र कहानियाँ कहता यहाँ Constellations tell their stories to thee कुंडलिनी जगाओ आत्मा जागृत करो Awaken Kundalini, let your spirit rise ऊर्जा भीतर से बहती है Energy flows from deep inside
Okay, welcome to our Astro Tarot report for December 16th. And we're going to be looking at, we're going to start with the moon trining Saturn. And we have the moon at 13 degrees Cancer and Saturn at 13 degrees of Pisces. So, yeah, before we get into that, again, welcome to the Astro Tarot Report. My name is Tony Victor, and you can subscribe to Quicksilver Astrology on YouTube, and also check out our website too, quicksilverastrology.com. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, and there's also other social media sites as well. Mostly YouTube is the one to check out, though. That's where the most posts will be. So for December 16th, we end up having for this trine of Moon and Saturn, giving us two water signs, two minor arcana that are the result of two water signs. We have the Six of Cups, and then we have the Three of Cups. So with this aspect, we have kind of an ease of working together to solve karmic issues, returning to the past, work affiliations from the past. So maybe people come out of the woodwork that we used to work with, and we see them again. Could be about kindness and giving to others that we work with, sharing with others, partying together, having a good time. It could also be that. And that's kind of the easygoing flow of the trine for that particular situation. When we're also going to continue on now here to move to December 17th. And so just the one aspect for the 16th that's of most importance. On the 17th, we have Moon trine Neptune. Moon at 27 degrees Cancer and Neptune at 27 degrees Pisces. So again, we have two water signs. And computer's lagging a little bit here. Hang on one second. Okay. So we have, that gives us the Two of Cups and the Eight of Cups. So relationships is the Two of Cups usually. Harmony, coming together for a higher purpose. So it doesn't always have to be about relationships, but it's a relationship of some kind, okay? But we're looking at moving on from something, taking a journey. Maybe it's taking a trip with somebody you care about, or it could be taking a journey to heal. Maybe you need to get away from something to rest, relax, and recuperate. It could be that as well. So that's not totally unusual to do something like that. And so with our next particular aspect, we're looking at Moon opposition Pluto. So a little bit of clashing here. And Moon's at 0 degrees Leo. Pluto's at 0 degrees Aquarius. And we have that 0 degrees Aquarius where Pluto sits right now. So it's that divisiveness. It's very tough. It can be freeing and liberating in the sense that we kind of feel like our mood is such that we feel like we're liberated, that we can speak and do as we feel. However, be wary of the consequences. The Five of Wands is that other card of the aspect here where it can definitely be conflict. So you can expect battling to go on during this time. Conflict. It's probably not inner conflict so much as it is outer conflict. With the Five of Swords, I just feel like that's kind of, it can also be about the aftermath of a battle. So something has already taken place, or this is a result of something that happened earlier, and now you're kind of picking up the pieces and moving on to something else. The fight might not still be over. It's kind of there's many battles, and the war is not yet over. This is like a long-term thing, and especially with Pluto. Pluto is long-term situations. That's also karmic too. So we kind of enter the week with a karmic pattern type of recall here. So yeah, it's bringing up things from the past and reconciling them, taking things and kind of repurposing them for whatever it is that we're going to use them, or others taking things from us, or vice versa. And it doesn't have to be material things. It can kind of be you take emotions with you. That can also be part of this week. I just see a continuing theme, and the fire and the air together. Yeah, in this particular case, with the 2 5s, it looks like a lot of battling going on. So be careful of that. So we're going to move on to December 18th, where we have 4 different aspects. So that's a little bit more there to look at. And the first aspect is Moon conjunct Mars, Moon at 5 degrees Leo, and then Mars sitting on top of that at 5 degrees Leo. And with that, we're looking at the 10 of Wands. So taking action, that's Mars. Carrying something to completion. It could be success, but also suffering. And that can definitely be Mars. And the Moon. The Moon can be about suffering and emotion. But it's carrying something to completion. It's the culmination of something and the end of something. Carrying a burden, it can be about that. Physical labors can also be about that. And especially with Mars, it's a physical action. So you can be doing some sort of laboring. And be careful, you can overdo it if you don't watch yourself. December 18th, again, continuing on here with the second aspect, we end up having Moon trine Mercury, Moon at 6 degrees Leo, Mercury at 6 degrees Sagittarius, the 2 of Wands, and the 5 of Wands. That 5 of Wands is back again. So it can kind of go either way here. We got the 2 of Wands, meaning there's some sort of opening and opportunity, but at the same time, it's like, are we going to take the peaceful path or are we going to take the confrontational path? That is the 2 of Wands meeting with the 5 of Wands. And Mercury is about communication. The Moon is about the mood. So how are we communicating our moods to others? Do we feel what they feel? Do they feel what we feel? Are we empathetic? That's that nature of the Moon in this. Okay, and if we don't see the other person's side, we can become confrontational. And if we don't feel like we're being validated, our emotions are being validated, our points of view are being validated, we can become confrontational. So there's those 2 points of view, and it's important to kind of see both sides. And that's that gentleman holding the earth in his hand, wearing that long red robe, and he's holding a wand in one hand, and behind him there's another. So he can see one point of view perhaps, but not the other. It's difficult for him to see that because he's so focused on his own point of view and what he sees in front of him. So try and look at both points of view if you can, and feel the other person as well. Feel what they're feeling if there's a way to do that. And that is the key for that particular aspect. Okay, so we have 2 more aspects to look at here for this particular day. And now we're going on to the Sun square Neptune. It's a little bit of difficulty with that aspect. 27 degrees Sagittarius is where the Sun sits. Neptune sits at 27 degrees of Pisces. 8 of Wands and 8 of Cups. So kind of moving away quickly from a situation, getting away fast. Either there's a need to do that or there's a desire to do that. 8 of Wands is the desire, and the 8 of Cups is that actual move. And it could also be a move internally too, spiritually. Moving away from something spiritually. It can also be in a good way. It can be a motivating drive for spiritual change. That can be the 8 of Wands too. It's a motivating factor as opposed to moving away from something. You kind of dive deeper into it in a way. It can also be uplifting, something spiritually uplifting. I can also see that with the 8 of Wands too. But again, this is a little bit difficult. So maybe there's a hard lesson to be learned in our spirituality, something that we want to feel uplifted about, but it's a difficult situation for us because we've experienced hurt in the past that is seems to be a big theme for this week, is karmic and the past situations, emotional situations coming up from the past that need healing. So still from last month, we're still seeing stuff going on where there's this emotional healing going on. We may feel like we have the energy to better approach these situations, though, with the Sagittarian energy. So I think that's a positive in this particular month, and especially this particular week, where there's just that ambition and drive to handle and look at these situations better than we had in the past. So that I'm feeling positive about. You can take that square, that Sun square Neptune, and make it a positive thing. It's where our focus is. The Sun is our focus, Neptune is our emotion. So let's stay focused on how we're going to heal our emotions. Okay, Moon opposition Venus. And how are we going to do this? Okay, what is the Moon opposition Venus? The Moon, we have these two emotional planets. Again, more emotion, okay, but there's two opposing kind of feelings going on here. And the Moon sits at 13 degrees Leo, while Venus sits at 13 degrees Aquarius. Venus wants to get into Aquarius and share its feelings with everyone. And the Moon also wants to do that too in Leo, okay? But the Moon is more self-centered. It says, hey, here's me. I'm going to tell you how I feel. I want you to validate my feelings. Whereas Venus is more open to sharing their emotions with other people and kind of connecting to others. So there's that sense of selfishness versus the sense of collectiveness. And we have the Nine of Wands for this particular Moon position here. So it's that wounded healer type of card, and the Nine is representative of the Hermit too. So it's a solitary card, standing alone, feeling one's own emotions. So it's kind of that sulking, it's the sulking Leo. Leo's sitting in their own emotions, and so you have that kind of the Moon and then the Sun, Leo being related to the Sun, which, well, because Leo is ruled by the Sun. So the situation here is the focus is very self-centered on the emotions, and how to heal them. And it can be a kind of sense of despair in a way, with the Nine of Wands, because it's the solitary feeling. Not that it's a bad thing, because it gives one a chance to work out their emotions, but that oppositional energy with the Nine of Swords, you have the Nine in Aquarius there. And the Nine of Swords is a tough card. That can be about illness, that can be about depression. So it's a tough thing altogether. That oppositional, you kind of want to be able to heal, but at the same time you don't feel like you can, because you're too depressed to move on for something. So it's definitely hanging on to these feelings, and there's this inner conflict about how to reconcile them. So that's a difficulty I see with that aspect there. It's not an easy aspect. It is a tough one, and it's mostly internal. Okay, so December 19th, we are going to move on to the next day here of our aspect charts. And now we're looking at Moon square Uranus. So that's the Moon sitting at 23 degrees Leo, and Uranus sitting at 23 degrees Taurus. So we have Wands for our first placement and Pentacles for the second, and the Ten of Wands and Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so that Ten of Pentacles is our Moon. Ten of Pentacles is our Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles is Uranus in Taurus. So the instability of Taurus actually starts to become more stable. The Ten of Pentacles is a very stable card. So surprisingly, Uranus gets kind of a shift in energy, being that it's unpredictable. This becomes actually predictable, it would seem. So unpredictable predictability. It's a conundrum. It's a paradox. But the Ten of Wands is holding something close and trying to carry it to completion, or it's trying to finish a project, and it's carrying them, but often successfully. It's not that it's going to fail. It's more likely to succeed because it's something that it's been working on for a long time. It can be institutional with the Ten of Pentacles. It can be familial. It can be old money, old clubs, old alliances, anything that's long term. Okay, so the long standing energy of Uranus, uh, the Uranus is also one of those boon type of planets where it can bring you good energy. It's kind of like that unpredictable boon of Jupiter. You get that lucky energy. Uranus can definitely be that. But then you have the square going on with the moon, so maybe it's kind of one of those situations where you may not feel so great about what it is that you have going on, whether or not it's successful, and it seems to be like it's something that's going to succeed. You're finishing something, but there's that emotional difficulty of it all. You have kind of this uh, attachment. Your own feelings are attached to these particular things, whatever it is that's going on in your life. So it's a task that's going to be completed, but not without emotional suffering. That's the kind of the burden on the back of the Ten of Wands. You're carrying something, and it's a heavy, heavy, heavy burden. Okay, doesn't seem like it's getting much better here on the 19th. That was about as good as it's going to get. With our other aspect here that we're looking at, this seems to be probably the toughest one we'll end up looking at for this week. So do be careful. But before I tell you what the minor arcana are, let's set it up with the trine. Okay, so this is very interesting because it's supposed to be an easy thing, and yet the cards that are shown are very difficult cards. Okay, so Venus trine Jupiter seems like it should be great. It should be very good. Venus at 14 degrees Aquarius, Jupiter at 14 degrees Gemini. And we have for these cards some very difficult ones. We have the Ten of Swords and the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords, let's start on a more positive note here, because this doesn't have to be about death. The Four of Swords seems like it's a death type of thing, an illness card. It could be that. But it could also be about rest, relaxation, meditation, intentional solitude, or solitary placement, whether that's by your own decision or not. It can be a solitary card. So that sense of solitariness going on this week. And so if you're able to utilize the energy, as always, try and use it in a positive way. Now, on a very positive note, you can actually make this an easy trine for yourself. And how you set that up is you turn this day, the 19th, into a day of meditation. The Ten of Swords is also known as a dead man's pose. In Yoga Nidra, that's a particular type of meditational yoga, if you will. And that would be a perfect time to start, or a perfect day to at least give it a try, and use the energy that way rather than letting it transform itself negatively. So I could say that would be a good thing to try to do, rather than the energy letting it take on its own life and turning into a form of illness or depression, where you're in solitude. When you're in solitude. Okay. So illness or death. I mean, it can definitely turn out to be that. Not that it's necessarily you, but perhaps someone close to you. It could be that, or someone you know. That could pop up that day. But this is a trine, so I don't think that it's going to go that way. Okay, the trine, and if it does, it's something easy. You may have been expecting it because the 10 is a culmination. It's the ending of something. So this whole week seems like it's something that's carrying on to completion. So it's going to be an easy end of something. So hate to sound so negative, but these cards together can be kind of worrisome. So take it in a positive way, as I said, and try to transform the energy into a period of reflection, if you will, at the very least. Okay. So moving on from the difficulty now into something that looks a lot better. Okay, on December 20th. And for our aspect, the first one on December 20th, Sun trine the Moon, Sun at 28 degrees Sagittarius, Moon at 28 degrees Leo. Okay. And we have, for those first cards, we have the Nine of Wands and the Six of Wands. Okay, Six of Wands is always very positive in my opinion, depending on, of course, what cards it's paired with. But six is heading towards victory, heading to the finish line, being a leader, taking charge. And the Nine of Wands also can kind of be reflected to that too, someone that's able to take charge, but based on knowledge. They've been around a long time. That Nine of Wands is the Hermit card, as I said before, related to the Hermit. He's also holding a staff, but the only difference is the light being shown, uh, either upon himself or others. He sheds light on others. But the Nine of Wands is a bit of a younger character, although he's a leader and he has developed character and fortitude. Um, he doesn't have quite as much wisdom, but yet he will make it through to victory here with the Six of Wands. So it is a leader, and it is someone that takes charge. And I see this as a situation in which someone takes leadership and others rally around you. So I do see that as that type of situation here with that aspect. Okay. And so moving on to our next aspect, we have Moon square Mercury for the last one of this day. Moon at 8 degrees Virgo and Mercury at 8 degrees Sagittarius. Okay, so Moon and Mercury, communication and emotion. We have the Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. So being patient, but potentially being confrontational, though, too. So we're waiting for something that happens, and we can become impatient as we wait. And it can lead to us being aggravated and being confrontational. So waiting for something that never comes can definitely make us feel confrontational and want to lash out at others. So be careful about that. And just the fact that it's being a square, and it's Mercury with the moon, emotion and communication can fly off the handle, especially with the Seven of Wands. You kind of want to push at somebody, kind of shove them around in a sense, maybe even literally. But then there's a seven, which is kind of picking and choosing. You see your harvest there. You're going through things. You're taking account of things. So pick and choose your battles. That's also a good word of advice there for the 20th. All right, two more aspects here for December 21st for our next day, and then we'll have one more day to look at here. So on the 21st, we have our first opposition, Moon opposite Saturn. Moon 13 degrees Virgo, Saturn at 13 degrees Pisces. So earthy sign, water sign. Virgo's hard work, health, the gut. Pisces is emotion and also can be related to health. Critical health versus, illness. And it can cause some upsets, illness and health wise. The moon opposition Saturn. Saturn's a card of health too. Long-term health. So long-term health situations, and then the moon kind of brings something, its energies, its collected energies as a receptacle of all the other planetary energies. So the moon is kind of doing something to us here, maybe. But the cards it's showing are pretty good. So that's kind of our positive. We're looking at affiliations with the Three of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. So something at work. I see this as the original energies that kind of brought this on, that brought forth this particular aspect, are harsh energies, and yet the resolution is something positive and peaceful. So what may have started off as something that can be seen as negative can end up actually being okay. Kind of congeniality between parties of people. So working together towards some goal and celebrating at the same time. So I see that as kind of like it could be the end of a work relationship. You're going one way and somebody else is going another. I know that's I can speak to that. That's coming up at the end of this week, so that could actually be interesting. People are coming and going. That's how work goes, right? Uh, you keep moving on, and so do they. Wherever they end up, that's where they end up. Where you end up, that's where you end up. Okay, so next aspect, and the last one for the 21st, Moon square Jupiter. So Moon is at 14 degrees Virgo. Jupiter is at 14 degrees Gemini. So Earth sign, air sign. Moon in that card of health of Virgo. Jupiter in the card of communication, Gemini. And Jupiter and Gemini, big communication, a lot of communication. Moon in Virgo is that receptacle, as is Virgo is a receptacle too. It can certainly be. Four of Pentacles for the Earth Virgo aspect of it, for that part of it, excuse me. And for the Four of Swords, that is our air aspect, our air influence, I should say, for the aspect. And we have not wanting to let go. That is the Four of Pentacles. Hanging on to something, practicality, maintaining investments. And four is... So I see kind of that, the Four of Swords, where there's that coffin type of symbolism. You're kind of stashing something away. So that would be a good day to stash something away, to hide something from yourself if you want to protect it for the future. So investments, it could be that. It's a good day for investments in terms of protecting yourself and what you own, what you have. Just taking inventory of your personal items, your personal belongings, and making sure they're safe. I see that as how that combination of cards plays out for that day. And especially being that Jupiter is that card of wealth. And if you're going to do something technology related, it'd also be good for that on that day. So technology and wealth related. So Gemini being that technological, Jupiter being that wealth. Okay, so that is it for December 21st. And we have quite a bit of stuff going on the 22nd for our last day that we're looking at for this report. And on the 22nd, we're going to start with Moon trine Uranus. Moon at 23 degrees of Virgo and Uranus at 23 degrees of Taurus. So the first aspect that we set up here is with, again, the Four of Pentacles. And now we have the 10 of Pentacles. So 4 and 10 of Pentacles. The 4 is holding on to something, and the 10 of Pentacles is that old influence, that old money. Holding on to old money. So if you have, again, this is another investment type of thing. And Uranus can be about windfalls. So maybe it's a windfall. This is a trine, so this is a good thing. That moon energy can be something coming due to you, because that moon is that receptive energy. Something maybe flowing to you of energy in a particular way that becomes financial. So you may receive some sort of something that's old in terms of money or old wealth. It doesn't have to be physical, but being that the fact that it is Virgo and Taurus together in this particular aspect, it is most likely something physical, whatever that may be, monetary or not. Okay, so moving on to our next aspect, we have an Earth and a water sign. We're looking at Moon opposition Neptune. So Moon at 27 degrees of Virgo, Neptune at 27 degrees of Pisces. And we have the 8 of Pentacles and the 8 of Cups. So moving on from a work situation, that's the first thing that comes to mind here. Working hard but needing relaxation. That can also be that too. Okay. Going on to another job. Yeah, that can be that. Pretty simple aspect. I see those as being kind of obvious type of situations to me in terms of how to read their energy. That seems like more just more obvious in general. And then Moon trine Pluto. Okay, so this flowing energy, this receptive energy becomes. Pluto is one of those long-term planets, outer planets, and we're looking at Moon at 0 degrees Libra and Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius. So, yeah, the Moon is right on 0 degrees Libra, as is Pluto, but that's been sitting there for a while, and that will be there a bit longer. So we have now that difficult Five of Swords. That's where that Pluto sits, at the edge of Aquarius, the 0 degrees. It's that confrontational energy, that divisive energy, the separate energy, energy of separation. And then you have the Two of Swords. That's more separation in this case, a division, going left, going right, making a choice. You're picking sides here. Somebody's going to be picking sides. I see that as kind of the most blatant form of this energy, is choosing sides, for better or for worse. You're picking your team, you're picking your battle. You're on this side or you're on that side. There's two sides here of the coin, and you will choose one. That's what that seems like to me. And then our final aspect for this report, the Sun square Moon. Sun is at 1 degrees Capricorn. Moon is at 1 degrees of Libra. 1 degree of Libra. Okay. Two of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. Again, the Two of Swords appears here. What we'll be looking at is the energy, again, of making a decision and juggling things. So you're balancing something, but you're going to make a choice on what to keep. You're keeping something or giving something up. Keeping something and giving the other thing up. It's going to be something about that. And it's going to be a decision about something physical, most likely being that it's Two of Pentacles. And then with the particular planetary energy, it's Capricorn. So that's probably work related. Okay. Libra. It can be relationships too. Partnerships, relationships. And yeah, juggling partnerships, relationships, juggling work relationships versus your personal relationships. It can be that too. So I'm going to leave the report at that. And I will see you all next time. Please like, subscribe, check out QuicksilverAstrology.com. The new tarot deck is available. At the top of the banner on the website, you will see the link there. Check out the bookstore. Keep in touch. Please like, comment, subscribe.
ज्योतिष का ज्ञान यह रे रहस्य, astrology's knowledge deep as sea. नक्षत्र कहानियाँ कहता यहाँ, constellations tell their stories to thee. कुंडलिनी जगाओ, आत्मा जागृत करो, awaken kundalini, let your spirit rise. ऊर्जा भीतर से बहती है, energy flows from deep inside.